Welcome to the studio. So today I want to finally get through some of the things I save on Instagram. I am constantly saving nonstop, and it's memes, it's art, it's occasionally recipes. I've never made a recipe, so maybe that's another video. But there's a couple things that I've seen either repeatedly or recently that I'm like, okay, now's the time. So we're gonna start with this one. It's should be pretty easy, should be pretty fun, and I actually have a ton of just paint, literally from middle school or high school, that I've just been hanging on to, and it's not good, and I need to get rid of it, but I hate throwing things out, so we're just gonna use that. And two birds, one stone, new art for the space and getting rid of old paint. I also thankfully have this canvas that's gone through a couple lives of starting something and then not doing anything with it. And I've already sorted my paint. We're gonna do yellow and oranges on the first layer since they're more transparent and I think would have a hard time layering over top. And then blues and reds on the second layer. The thing I love the most about her video is she really does just throw paint on the canvas, and then she uses a roller to spread it out, so that we're gonna do the same thing. I have these really shitty rollers in the basement that I've just been trying to use and get rid of. So now we're going to. I'm using really old paint here that I'm trying to get rid of. I think I've had it since high school maybe, and that was a decade ago. Some of this paint, especially the yellows, was really goopy and very hard to spread out. Okay, layer one is done. I might come back in and just try to hit where these pencil marks were, or I might not. They'll probably get covered up. Taping the canvas was a little tricky because it's not exactly flat, and I cut a roll of masking tape I had, so the lines weren't exactly straight either. Okay, so it's all taped up about the best that I can. So we're gonna go in with the blues. The sun is setting, so you'll probably see this tomorrow in the daylight. Okay, this tape pull is going to be the least satisfying thing you ever watch. If I had done the tape peel before the paint fully dried, I think it would have been easier, but I ended up leaving it overnight, and that made it a little more difficult. Pick a row now to see who gets the furthest before tearing. Well, looks trippy on camera. The big print is done. Okay, so I've been kind of scrolling through the things I've saved, trying to figure out the next project. I'm between two things, and maybe I'll do both of them. But the first is this pottery painting that is meant to look like cross stitch, and then the other one I'm thinking is this guy. I love three-dimensional art. He's so cute. This artist has a lot of tutorials on how to make these little sharks. They're so cute. And I actually think I'm talking myself into this one, so let's get started on this. Okay, this is actually really helpful because I was thinking oh, he has a lot of tutorial videos. He probably has templates, and on his website he does have templates you can buy. So I'm going to download these. It'll make it a lot easier. And then we'll get started. We'll have to find some cardboard to craft with, but that's the next step. Finally got the template to print, so I'm gonna cut it out. And then I have a piece of cardboard around here somewhere to do the structure in. But I'm gonna work on that since the sun is setting. Okay, all of the parts are traced out. I think I'm going to save the cutting until after dinner because I am hungry. Might even save it for tomorrow. Might even save it for 3 days from now. Who knows? Whoops. All right, we got all our pieces cut out, so now it means time for gluing it together. I guess I should plug in the, oh no, I don't know where the hot glue gun go. We are in a race now to see if I can get this glued together before the battery on the camera dies. Even in the skeletal phase, she's so cute. So the next step is kind of filling the inside. The original artist fills it with like tissue paper, or like paper towels, I can't quite tell. So we're gonna do the same thing. I just fished these out of the trash bin, and we're gonna tear them apart so they're a little easier to work with and stuff them inside. I also took the opportunity while I was waiting for the battery to charge to offload some of the SD card. It also got cool enough in here that I could put an overshirt on, so I'm in my preferred form. And I put on my glasses because I realized I wasn't wearing those. You can't know me sans glasses. So I rewatched some of his videos and he does tape the sharks up too. So it's what I'm doing now. And it is really helping actually to smooth over a lot of the bumps. Shocking, someone who's done this a lot. Has good tips. For his own creations. Okay, so I kept this pile of paper towels here because I figured this would be good to use for the paper mache. So I'm just going to rip these up so that they are in more appropriate sections for the size of this guy. One of the nice things about this project was that it used mostly waste materials. The cardboard was the backing from a desk calendar. The paper towels had all been used while painting, and I like kind of literally took them out of the trash and tore them apart. And the paint itself was stuff I was really just trying to get rid of. It is so old. This took a very long time to dry, but the good news is it's dry now and does not need a second coat of paper mache. The texture of the paper towels looks very good. And I think we're ready to paint. I was going back and forth on what color to paint it. Like, do you paint it shark colors or do you paint it fun colors? But I think we're gonna go with just like sharp colors. The template for this is based on a very specific shark, but it looks hideous. It's a very creepy boy. So we're not painting it that color. I did think about potentially painting it weird colors, like colors that a shark would absolutely not be, but I think we'll just go with blues. We'll use some more of this stuff, and we'll see how she looks. I'm gonna let this guy dry a little bit, and then I think we're just gonna come back in and dry brush with some of the lighter colors, because it's actually looking really good. I don't know if the camera's picking up. The paper towel is doing a lot of work to make it look like scales, which is nice. All right, our little friend is dry enough to continue. I am going to try to mix up a grayer blue, but with cheap paints, they get muddy really quickly, so we'll see if that works. Otherwise, we'll just do a light blue dry brush on top of him. What do we think? We're going to start on the last one. I am going to make this. Still don't know quite what pattern I'm going to do. I might browse some cross-stitch patterns and get inspired by something. But I have a little bit of pearlescent Sculpey that I'm going to use for the base. Let's try to fish the cat hair. Actually, cat hair will just go on the underside. It's a losing game to fish the cat hair out. You are on the table here. You are probably also being shaken. Let's get you off the table. All right, now the grid, because I don't actually have anything to press into this. I think I'm going to carve it on, but that means I have to be precise, and also I have to know what the grid should look like. I can't express to you how much I am just a winging it person. All right, we winging it. Let's do it in centimeters. Okay, so it's 12.5 centimeters. Should we just do the grid on the 1/2 centimeter? It'll be chunky. So I am figuring out that you kind of need to go back each direction on the cross hashing here because it is skewing the lines. And I definitely see why it would be easier to just press something in, because this is a little time consuming. I think I'm going to go back without the ruler and just kind of like redefine some of the squares. But it's turning out very cute. I'm liking it. Ew. All right, so our little grid is out of the oven. It did warp a little bit, but that doesn't surprise me considering how thin it was. And while it was baking, I kind of sketched out an idea for it. So I'm thinking of just doing a little bug. But I have to go to book club right now, which is why I'm in a slightly nicer outfit. So this will be a post-book club activity. I was worried about paint sticking to this, so I did sand the inside with an emery board and then hit it with some matte gel medium. So painting this was fairly easy. It's just kind of coloring inside the lines. Although one thing you will see is I do redo most of the colors. And I tend to do that a lot in crafts. The little house on the window that you can see in some of the clips, I think I repainted 4 or 5 times before I was actually happy with it. All right, my little insect is done. Oh, it turned out so cute. I did end up going over the red one more time with a red mixed with the copper, and it looks so cute. All right, here are all of the finished pieces. I would definitely make all of these again, and I genuinely might make all of these again. This one I think actually would make really cute presents. I like my little bug. I think if I were to do it again, I would do something non-symmetrical or lean into the symmetry and do like a quilt pattern. I actually, when I was originally doing this, I like really wanted to do eggs. I wanted to make this eggs. I don't know, like, I think it would have been funny. But I like our little bug. I've already got a place where I'm gonna hang it up in this room. She's gonna go right up there, keep the spider plant company. Next is our little shark. 10 out of 10 would chomp again. The shark turned out really well. I definitely want to make one of these again, maybe even like a very mini one, and put them in our little curio cabinet downstairs. I think that would be so cute. And doing it again in like a different, like a non-shark color, I think would be very funny, because it definitely reads, like it read as a shark as cardboard. So it's like you could really do whatever you wanted with it. And it's still gonna read shark, even if it's like psychedelic colors. And then last is this painting. I definitely learned a lot while doing this, including that my camera does not like to focus on stripy things. But I think it turned out really cool. I wish there was more variation in the blue, but that dark blue kind of like took over. But the red underneath is really cool, and the blue actually kind of matches our bathroom really well. So I think this is gonna go in the bathroom because it does like 100% match the vibes in there. These were all really great, really fun crafts and art projects to do. Again, big thanks to the original creators for all of these. Their information will all be linked down below. Thanks for watching, and I will be here thinking about better ways to do outros, because this is like the 10th take.